I'm not sure how it happened. I just seemed to lose my balance and found myself on the floor and smashed my knee quite badly.
I slipped down the stairs and sprained a wrist.
Falls always shake you up a lot. It comes as a shock.
I couldn't walk, I couldn't use my hand, I couldn't comb my hair, I couldn't do nothing for myself.
Hi there, Eddie. Keeping busy?
Oh, you know me, always on the go.
Any chance I can twist your arm to come to one of the fitness classes?
Not my thing, really.
There's some nice ladies there, and it's a good way of meeting people.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll call one for you sometime then.
Yeah, all right. You can but try. I must be getting along.
See you soon.
Eddie is in his early 70s. He likes to keep himself busy and still sees himself as being pretty fit and healthy. Eddie's wife died 4 years ago, and since then he has lived on his own. Domestically, things have gone downhill. He's found it hard to cope. This has also affected his health. But Eddie would never see himself as getting old. This is Moira. She also lives on her own since her husband died suddenly 8 years ago. She has 2 children and 4 grandchildren who she sees regularly. Moira goes to exercise classes at her local community centre. She started going about 6 months ago after she had a fall at home. Her GP recommended the over 55s exercise class to improve her balance and strength.
I had a fall when I was at home and reached up to get something off a top shelf, and quite what happened I don't know. I just found myself on my back and was unable to get up.
I slipped on the stairs. I was going to make a bottle for my granddaughter, and I just slipped on the stairs and I fell. I go forward and hit my head to the wall, to the end of the step, and went back. And I stood there for a long time. I was not a little scared, I was scared. I thought, like my head was explode or something, and my head just went.
First thing was a broken ankle. I slipped off a step.
So my aim is to try and be as careful as I possibly can so that I don't do it again.
There are many causes for falls in the home. Lack of visibility at night is a common one. So are slippers without hard backs. This can be remedied with simple choices, like having a bedside lamp or buying full-backed slippers.
People tend to forget that they're getting older, particularly men. They think they're going to go on forever, and unfortunately they're not. And things that they used to notice bothered other people are beginning to bother them. Unless they take notice of that, they're going to find themselves maybe falling downstairs or walking into vases or bushes, etc., or far more serious situations.
We'd all like to stay independent in our own homes, and there are simple things we can do to help achieve this. For instance, take regular eye tests. Did you know an eye test is free on the NHS once every 2 years for the over 60s? And once every year for the over 70s.
I felt so hard that I get a little blackout because my husband and all came and he could not even pick me up because he not well himself, So I just had to lie down there until I could get up for myself.
It was suggested that I went to a place where I could get advice should I fall over again. And they suggested that it's a very good idea if in every room you have a reasonably solid chair, because you can then use the chair to help yourself to your feet.
Another precaution I think that one should take is to be very careful about the placing of rugs in the home. It's very easy to move a chair, knock a rug, and then trip over it as you get up.
This is a nice surprise.
Brought you some home cooking. What happened to your head?
Oh, it's nothing.
Really? I worry about you, Eddie.
It was my fault. I wasn't paying attention. Stupid cables lying across the floor. The next thing I knew,
Were you okay?
I was lying there for 2 hours before I could get up. My back, not what it used to be.
None of us are. It's a bit dark in here, Eddie.
Yeah, that bulb. I know I need to change it.
We're all getting on. We should be taking more care of ourselves, not less. Come to the fitness classes with me, Eddie. It'll be so good to see you there.
Exercise is incredibly important to keep you fit, keep you healthy, and help not only prevent falls but also help you recover if you have had a fall. As well as exercise, there are things like physiotherapists who can come out to people who have had falls. Physiotherapists can be very helpful in teaching people techniques, as can occupational therapists who will look around the house and talk to you about your falls.
So I think it is important whenever you get a fall, I advise everybody, go and check out the doctor, no matter how simple it may be.
You want to feel the muscles tighten in the thighs.
We do a lot of balance exercises as well as strengthening exercises to help them feel confident within themselves. Once they've come away from having a fall, they can lose quite a lot of confidence. So we find that doing the exercise not only gives them the confidence, but it strengthens their muscles to avoid, hopefully, falls in the future.
I think a lot of men do have a problem about admitting they're not as tough as they used to be, or quite as stable as they used to be, not as young as they used to be. And the chances are you might fall over. Well, accept it, admit it, get help, take precautions, and be sensible about it.
The risk of falls is something that increases with age. 1 in 3 people over the age of 65 have a fall each year, and many of these falls are preventable. Falls can result in injuries that mean you can no longer live alone at home. 50% of older people cannot live independently after a fracture.
RoSPA is a national charity which aims to prevent accidents to all age groups, but we're particularly concerned about falls among older people. Something like 3,000 people over the age of 65 die as a result of a fall every year, but many thousands more are seriously injured, and those injuries can seriously inhibit their lives, and the psychological impact, I think, is quite serious. It's not just the physical injuries.
We do know that if somebody's had a fall, they are more likely to have another fall. Even the first fall, as a doctor, we want to know about it. What we can then do is try and work out why you've had that fall and break the cycle of having another fall.
Eddie? Eddie?
Moira?
Eddie?
I can't move!
I call an ambulance.
Have a plan in place so you know what to do if you have a fall at home. You may wish to consider using your local council's community alarm service. The risk of falls in the home can be reduced by making a variety of adjustments.
Simply just by removing clutter, for example, or looking at how they can change the layout of their rooms so that they can move around more freely, and that the things that might trip them up are less likely to do so.
Make sure pathways are clear by removing trip hazards like mats or trailing electrical cords. Lighting must be adequate, especially on stairs and in hallways. Use a non-slip bath mat and mop up spills immediately. Make sure your everyday items are within easy reach. Always use a safety stepladder if you need to climb up, for example, to change a light bulb. Never use a stool or chair.
I believe my local council does offer a service, a local handyman service, where they will send somebody to your house to assess possible dangers and help you to put things right, which I think is a very valuable service.
I'm glad that my friend told me about this handy service. If I had known them before, I would not have that fall, you know.
Be prepared to look around the house, learn from slip-ups. Believe you me, they'll get worse as you get older. And so take care, move furniture, be aware of where things are. And if you do fall over or you do hurt yourself, then go and tell someone about it and get it sorted out. Don't think, oh, I can get over this.
Since my wife died, I've kept myself to myself. Thought I was okay. Didn't want to admit I was getting on, or that I didn't much like being on my own anymore.
Who does? That's why I like to get out and about.
I don't mind saying that fall shook me up a bit. I'm really glad I made those changes now.
Do you know what they say? Pride comes before a fall.
I was really lucky you came by that day. I didn't know about that medical walk-in centre we went to either until then.
Ooh, I feel a bit dizzy.
Here, sit down. I'll get you a glass of water.
Thanks. It's since I started taking these new pills.
Are you really taking all of those?
It's only what the doctor gave me.
One of the things that people perhaps aren't aware of is the effects that taking a variety of medication can have on making them more vulnerable to falls. It's known, for example, that if you take 4 or more pills, you are far more likely to be at risk of a fall.
You may be taking more medication than you really need. You should get this checked every 6 months. So remember to make an appointment regularly with your local pharmacist or GP, as they are happy to advise you on your medications.
The doctor suggested that it might have been because I was dehydrated. He suggested that I drank water or fruit juice, not coffee or tea, because that has the reverse effect, especially coffee dehydrates you, and the same applies, unfortunately, to alcohol.
This is the life of an older man, and you've got to be aware that in your own home you can have accidents.
Falls is one of the commonest reasons that older people do end up in hospital, and obviously for an older person it's vitally important we prevent them going into hospital, because like everybody it's much better to stay in your own home if you can possibly do that.
A few simple changes in your home and to your lifestyle can have a massive impact on your risk of having a fall at home.
You know, so I advise all ageable people like me to come out and socialize, make yourself alive. You have one life to live and live it good.
For more information on how to make those changes, please visit the Home Safety page at www.RoSPA.com.